Hello and welcome to Preston High School. This is Gary Livengood along with head football coach Jonathan Tennant. We're in your workplace, Coach.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in this room.
Steve Blake, our director and producer, is with us tonight. Storm outside right at the end of practice, so didn't cut practice short very much.
We cut it short, a couple minutes, but with the new facility we have, we were able to do a little bit of conditioning in the pound. Wasn't ideal, but it wasn't a waste, so
Yeah.
we're grateful for that new facility, and we're getting good use out of it.
Yeah, great. Friday night, the University High School Hawks came to Knights Stadium for scrimmage. Preseason ranked number 7, AAA. That's a second school that you've scrimmaged. Wheeling Park, ranked number 8, AAA. Preseason, Metro Power Index. Those are two good scrimmages, Coach.
Yeah, I was didn't realize they were ranked that high, but like I told the kids in our game plan, we scrimmaged two top 10 teams, and we held our own against them.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm proud of is we got better from the first one to the second one. Wheeling Park, our defense was bad. There's no other way to put it. But against University, we challenged them after last Saturday's scrimmage, and we challenged our defense to play better this past Friday, and they did a lot better offensively. We didn't look as good as we did Wheeling Park, but I believe University's defense is much better than Wheeling Park is what we saw. So
Yeah.
I'm still pleased. I'm not very happy with the penalties, the fumbles, and the interception we had. Those things have to be corrected, and that's what we're working on this week.
University High School came out first. They had the first series, and they went into a series of passing drills, which was really right down your alley, something that your defense needed to work on. And the defense, especially the interior defense of your linemen, they put a lot of pressure on that quarterback for University High. Didn't give him real much of a chance to throw a pass.
Yeah, we know that Amir Richardson, that receiver that they have, is a D1 prospect, so we knew that they were going to try to get the ball to him. And we don't have those kind of athletes here, but we got kids that work hard and are coachable and compete. So we thought we'd double team him and put pressure on the quarterback, and it worked out. He didn't have much time to throw it. He wasn't very accurate, and we've got a few hits on him. So I think that affected things, and I believe they were distracted a little bit. It was their first day back at school. We'd been back 4 or 5 days, or that was our 5th day back. So we had the advantage there, but I was proud of the way the defense played.
Yeah, I was watching the Gribble boy and the Summers boy and the Miller boy doing different blitzes. I don't know what package you run or whatever on defense, but those boys were looking for the gaps and going through the gaps, and they were putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it worked out. I think that's where we're going to have to attack a passing team, because our secondary is young and inexperienced, and so our game plan going into teams that like to throw the ball is to put pressure on a quarterback and hopefully force him into some bad throws.
The corners were kind of weak on defense. They got beat a couple times, or other than that, I mean, to me, the defense is really, really well.
Yeah, we're very young in the secondary. One kid, our starter, didn't even play. A sophomore, only played 2 high school games in his life. He was out for that game, minor injury. So we had a first-year player. That's our story. When one kid goes out, we replace him with a first-year player.
When our young sophomore Gribble boy has come in there at the corner.
Yeah, he didn't play Friday, though. He
Okay.
had a stomach virus, so we held him out of that scrimmage and replaced him with a first-year player. But he held his own, considering the situation. On the other side, the other corner, Colton Rosenberger, he's coming back from injury from last year. He's just a sophomore. He's never started a varsity game, so we're going to take our lumps back there, but hopefully we got leadership and experience on the front end of the defense, so that's where we're going to make our money, I believe.
It looked like the Miller boy, I think, number 44, played that middle backing spot, and he was keeping people fired up, and I guess as Miller goes, so the rest of the defense goes.
That's pretty much it. And the defensive ends, that's the difference between this week and last week. We didn't get very much pressure on the quarterback last week, and this week was a little different, so that was a big factor.
And they were turning what runs they were, but the quarterbacks or backs, the defensive ends were trying to push them inside, especially the Moats boy and the was it the Summers boy or Gribble boy?
Gribble, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quarterback did bust a couple runs on us. He's been killing us the last couple of years. He scored 3 touchdowns against us in the regular game last year, and then he broke 2 long runs, one where we had him in the backfield in the scrimmage. So
Yeah.
we got to come up with a better plan for him come October.
But again, a very good scrimmage again against pre-ranked season ranked number 7 and number 8. So it shows that the top 16 or 18 players you have, Coach, are doing a job, and barring any injuries and any quote penalties and big plays, I think from what I saw, you can compete with those other AAA ball teams.
Oh, there's no doubt that we can compete if we stay healthy. I've said that so many times,
Yeah.
but that's just the truth. Like I said, when we lose starters, most of our starters are two-way players. So if you have 22 starters and we lose one kid, that's 2 positions gone, and replacing that two-way starter with a freshman or a first-year player.
And looking at your offense, you got mostly all your linemen graduated. You got young, inexperienced linemen in there on offense. And I was impressed with the zone blocking scheme that you have now with those players. They're young and inexperienced, but yet the only thing that was going on was a blitzing.
Yeah, they're not so inexperienced. We moved Blake Miller back to the line. He's a 2-time all-conference player. Jeremy Hovatter had to sit out last year due to injury. He was a starter as a sophomore, so this is his senior year. And Anthony Chandler's been starting there for 2 years. The problem right now is the guard spot. We've had a rash of injuries there, so we're down to a freshman starter. Aiden Bischoff, for a freshman, he's doing outstanding, but you're asking an awful lot. A 14-year-old lineman to go against an 18-year-old lineman.
Plus, he's not. How much does he weigh? I didn't look at the thing.
I think he's under 200 pounds.
Yeah, I was going to say Bischoff. But anyway, he's kind of short, 5'9", 5'10".
I would say 5'8".
Yeah.
And he's going to be good in the future, but he's getting a lot of experience. So hopefully he can stay healthy, and we'll just wait until these other kids get healthy and give them a little help.
And the offensive line itself, besides missing a few blitzes coming in, at number 44 from University High, they did well.
Yeah, we got to clean up the penalties. We had 3 holding penalties on offense, and one lineman jumps off side. So that'll hurt us this coming week.
But the offense, again, you've changed your offense from the stick eye, like you said before. When you run a stick eye with a fullback and a tailback, they're going to put 8 men on the line against you.
Yeah.
So will you go into a spread offense?
We're going to spread them out, 1 back, sometimes 2 backs. There's going to be a lot of options for the quarterback to either give the ball to the running back, keep it himself, or throw it short to a receiver. So he's going to read certain people on the defense, and he'll make that decision on every play.
And I was kind of impressed with Dakota Holt. He had a little more speed than I thought he had when he was sprinting right or sprinting left to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think his first intent probably is to run it.
Yeah, he's a little bit inexperienced back there. He's got to settle down a little bit and let his linemen do the work. But with an athlete like that, it's hard to keep him in a cage. He wants to break out, and when he does, he can make a lot of people miss.
Now, does he have certain keys that when he's running the ball to pick up on whether to throw the ball or run it or whatever?
Yeah, he reads certain parts of the defense. I don't want to get into that much technical stuff, but he has a lot of options. We talked about that today. The offensive coordinator, Tommy Chandler, has made it pretty clear to him that he has the freedom to, if he sees a blitz coming or an overload on one side, that he has the freedom to check out of it and get us into something good.
Yeah. And you got some good receivers, either the Nizel boy, the Gribble boy, the Summers boy. You got 4 or 5 receivers out there. I was watching. they were catching the football.
Yeah, they can catch the football. We got to work on our blocking. One thing we learned from watching the scrimmage tape is our wide receivers are not very good.
Not blocking?
Not blocking at all. So, it's pretty obvious to see. Anybody that watches the film can see that, we got to have a better effort blocking.
And I noticed you were switching the running backs, whether it was the Summers boy, the Gribble boy, the Moats boy. You kept switching the running backs every 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah, we have to because all 3 of those kids start on defense, and basically there's no backup behind them on defense. So we're going to try to give them a break on offense, but they're going to have to play until we develop some depth and we get some kids back from injury.
So you've developed, it looks like to me now, enthusiasm was there tonight at practice. It looks like the boys are enthusiastic getting ready for Hampshire when we go down there Friday. And it looks like the Miller boy, even Dakota Holt, seems to be trying to take the leadership role on offense.
Yes, I'm very happy with these seniors. They're a great combination of athletic ability and character and leadership. We're in good hands. I've told them that before, so we're looking for a pretty special year here.
They're athletic, and again, as we looked at your schedule and looking at the number of teams that were in the state playoffs last year and so forth, you've got a very tough schedule, and getting rid of Elkins and East Fairmont and brought on R.C. Bird and West Fairmont. That's not a fair trade.
No, it's not. That wasn't our decision. That was the Big Ten Conference. I wish we could just do our own schedule.
And, the Chandler boy on offense, I don't know who the backup is, but that number 61 seems to be doing a nice job at the center position.
Yeah, he's been there a while. He understands the offense. His dad's the coordinator, so I'm sure they have lots of discussions, and we've got to get him to get his pads down, and he could be a real good force for us.
But you got probably about 5 or 6 boys on defense. I was looking at number 44, 58, 33, 13, 54, 27. Those are boys we're going out and hitting boys.
Yeah.
They're hitting some of those University High boys, and they kind of said, I will stay away from him. I don't want to get hit by him again.
Yeah, that's what we try to do. We try to send a message. We want to be the more physical team on the field every Friday night. But there's a delicate balance. You can't have a lot of contact in practice, or you beat your kids up, and they'll be wore out by Friday. So we just got to find that balance of during the week, so we protect the kids, keep them healthy, but at the same time teach them how to be aggressive and physical on Friday night.
I'm surprised. Holt got clobbered a few times when he's running the ball. I was surprised that they were letting the players make that much contact with the quarterbacks. Yeah,
it was, Coach Kelly and I agreed that if a quarterback's going to run, he's going to get hit. So it was a little different in the Wheeling scrimmage. I had the whistle, and I blew it real quick. And I blew it a couple times Friday, but they didn't hear me.
Yeah, I was watching, I forget what scrimmage was. The quarterback was wearing a red vest, and that means he plays, you back off.
Right.
I was looking for that, but it never happened. But anyway.
Every team does it differently.
But
he made it through all right.
And, Coach, we were looking at the preseason Metro News. Again, Martinsburg, number 1, and, of course, I don't think that's going to change.
No. They're head and shoulders above everyone else.
And Spring Valley, there's another big school down in the Huntington area. These are all city schools. Capitol High School, city school. Huntington High School, city school. Cabell Midland, city school. You keep going on, whether it's Point Pleasant, city school, and you keep on going, George Washington, University High, Wheeling Park, Morgantown, South Charleston. Those are all city schools.
Yeah, they have an advantage at the AAA level. They have lots of numbers. Is there any AAA school, rural AAA school, that can compete with them? I'm not sure.
And I agree. And I was looking at the Mingo Central. It's a consolidated school and be very successful down in Matewan. Fairmont Senior City School, Bridgeport City School, Kaiser City School, James Monroe City School, George. You keep on going. City schools. It's just the situation where Point Pleasant, Weir. It's tough getting kids out of a large rural county.
It is. It's tell
compete.
me about it. It's. I'm happy to have the numbers that I have.
And you got some good athletes.
Yeah.
Got some good athletes this year. Looks like they've got some guns on them, and look at a couple of those boys with their shirts. You know, they're kind of. And I get. Someone said the Miller boy lifted over 400 or 500 pounds.
Yeah, he has a squat record. He set it last year as a junior before his knee injury. He squatted 5'10".
Coach, coming up Friday, you're on the road for your first 2 games down in Hampshire, a team that you've beat 2 years in a row. And I'm sure Coach Grace and the players down there are not too happy about that.
Yeah, I put that in our game plan. That first sentence about Hampshire was, they are mad. They are upset with us. Mm-hmm. And I told them why. Well, they should know why. We beat them in a close ball game down here. Kind of a controversial call on them when they were going in to score a touchdown. They scored it actually, but they got called for aiding the quarterback. Was a sneak.
Yeah.
And the 2 backs in the backfield pushed him over the line. You don't really see that call very often, but we got it that night, and they ended up not scoring, and that was the difference in the game. Of course, we came back, I believe, in the last 6 minutes, drove the field, and scored a winning touchdown. So that's heartbreaking for them, and I don't think they're going to forget that.
Yeah, and I think the Knights boy, did he catch 2 or 3 touchdown passes?
Yeah, that was probably the best game of his career.
Yeah. You beat him 26-21. Then you beat him in 2015. You beat him 30-20.
Yes, that game we went down there and we jumped out on them. I believe 21-0, and we let them get back in the game. So they're definitely motivated to beat us. I'm sure that's been the focus of their off season.
Now, Coach Grace has been down there about 14 years, and they've been running that wing T, misdirection, motion, all that stuff. You looking for the same thing offensively from Hampshire this year?
Yes, we actually traded scrimmage films with them, so
okay.
We expect them to run the same thing they've run the last several years, both offensively and defensively. Like you say, offense, the wing T, defensively, they're going to line up in a 44 front and try to keep everything in front of them.
But their defense, again, is the same, and they do a lot of blitzing. But you're not running a stick eye this year. You're running a spread offense and with Dakota Holt now. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that may switch their defense around as time goes on.
Right. If you remember in the game last year, that last touchdown drive, we were in the spread and we got out of the eye.
Yeah.
And that's when Dakota and Peanut Boyles had some good runs while we spread them out, the defense out.
And they don't have many seniors back. They lost most of the real skilled players from last year. The Stanley boy and there's a couple of those other boys. They lost most of those. And looking at that, they're not very big. I mean, looking at their linemen, there's one 236, 198, 207, 205. They're not very big.
Yeah, but you never can tell. I mean, sometimes the film is deceiving. I know their roster; it's a little sketchy. They have 34 kids on the roster. They have more on the sidelines, and they have duplicate numbers. Usually, if you have duplicate numbers, the senior, you know the senior is the player, and the freshman has the same number. Well, he's just a freshman. You don't have to worry about him. But looking at their roster, you get 9, 10, 12th graders all with the same number. So it's hard to tell. You never really know until you get there.
They said that they had a new athletic director, that all this stuff was going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether it
well, that's what they said last year. They had it.
But anyway, when you look at their defense, look at their offense. I mean, they run unbalanced line all the time, don't they?
They run a tight end and a wing at times. We're pretty familiar with it. We've been practicing it for a lot of the preseason, and a lot of the kids that played last year, they remember it, and we watch film. So they shouldn't do anything that surprises us. It's just a matter of executing and everyone doing their job.
Do you man up on people in motion?
Well, it depends what the situation is. We're going to react to motion, but rather not say how we're going to react to it.
Because, you know, they run like you're going to with your backs. They're running by committee. You don't know who's coming in and running the ball.
Yeah, and just about every play, there's a motion. The wingback goes in motion behind the quarterback. So we have to adjust to that, and we have a plan for that.
And picking up their blitz, that 4-4 defense, they're blitzing all the time. They're looking for the easy blitz package.
Right. We've worked on that today a lot in pass pro. And the key to that is the offensive line has to communicate. We can block just about anybody just as long as we know who we're blocking. So, and the key to that is communicating with one another, and they were doing a real good job today. And at some point, it's on the quarterback. When we're outnumbered up there, he's got to recognize that and get us out of that play and into a better play.
Yeah. Speed. Does Hampshire have any speed that we need to deal with?
If they do, well, I'm sure they do. It'll be at the wingback position. They like to run a quick pitch and get you outnumbered, and they'll run it until we stop it. Last year, they hurt us with the traps and the inside plays. But this year, we're going to be in a 50, so we're going to have another person in the middle. So it'll be interesting to see how our defensive ends react against that quick pitch. If they're not trying to pitch it quick to the outside, they're going to run the buck sweep, which is more of an inside play where they want you to make you think you're going outside, but all of a sudden he plants his foot and he turns it up. So we got to be disciplined and we got to be physical.
Yeah, Coach Grace, you know, once they find a play that works, they're going to run it. They're going to run it to death.
Yeah. One advantage we have is that they seemed on film to be pretty one-dimensional. I know last year they threw 2 passes. This year they got some good targets, but it's just something they don't do. So that's an advantage to us.
Last question, special teams. I was watching you run the kickoff unit tonight, and the Moats boy, about 5 or 6 kicks, he was kicking them down inside the 10-yard line. He duffed a couple, but most of them are going down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he's had a good preseason kicking the football. I'm worried about covering. I'm worried about when we got anybody that can tackle on that team. That worries me to death because we got little young kids, and we can't play those starters that are already playing both ways, then ask them to go play on the third side of the ball, the special teams. It's just too much. And we've got to have some kids step up and understand the importance of the kickoff and not jog down the field.
Now, kick position, we're going to kick it to the left, or we're going to kick it to the right, or we're going to kick it down the middle. Are you doing that per se?
Not at this point with our kicker. This is his first year doing it. We tried to work on it a little bit, but it's pretty unpredictable at this point. So we're just having Justin Moats just kick as far as you can.
And he evidently he's got a pretty good leg because he was kicking in the little wind tonight.
Yeah, he can boot it. He can kick. He'll be our field goal kicker as well.
Okay. Punter.
That's going to be Chase Bourne. That'll be his first full-time year of punting. He seems to be pretty consistent, and that's what we need back there, someone that's not going to get flustered and that's experienced. So once again, we got to cover those kicks as well.
And you have last year's snapper returning.
Yeah, we're in good shape as far as snapper goes.
Holder
will be
is that the Rosenberger boy?
Yeah, that is. But actually, he hurt his hand in practice today, so we might be making a switch there. We'll have to see how he feels tomorrow.
So you're kind of doubtful with the punting situation.
We can punt it. It just has to be consistent, and
Yeah.
we've been spoiled probably the last 3 or 4 years with Ryan Farrell. You know, they can really kick the football.
Coach, right now you're getting ready to go down to Hampshire Friday night. What is your biggest question mark or concern on offense and or defense going into the Hampshire game?
Offensively, it's my biggest concern is whether we can protect the football, or whether our quarterback can make good decisions, getting us in and out of bad plays, and making good decisions when he throws the ball. And aside from that, being healthy. If we lose a couple kids on offense, you know, it may get ugly.
And I can tell you're concerned about the depth because you're trying to the boys that are playing double duty are you're trying to get them a little rest here and there. And I'll tell you, Hampshire, 2 years ago down in Hampshire, it was so humid and hot down there. I mean, it was unbearable.
Yeah, I think the refs actually called one of those water timeouts
Yeah.
that they're supposed to do when it gets too hot. It's up to their discretion, and usually that happens the first couple games when it's still light out when you're playing. So, yeah, normally our philosophy on special teams is to play the best players, but we can't do that this year because our best players are already playing both ways. And I'm just not talking about receiver. I'm talking about defensive end, linebacker, and you're getting hit or you're hitting every single play. So we got to get them off the field at some point and give them a little break.
Coach, I see, you usually have a slogan or something like John Madden for the Oakland Raiders says, "Just win, baby." But I see that you went to the "Stay healthy, baby."
Yeah, just stay healthy. That works as well. I like that.
Any last comments or anything about the opening of the season down in Hampshire?
We're really excited. It's been a tremendous off season. Preseason, off season. It's been a long one because we got out of school at the middle of May, and we've made a lot of changes in the program, adding different coaches, 3 new coaches, new facilities, and kids are excited. The coaches are excited. We're just and you could feel it this week. This practice, in particular, the intensity went way up.
So the new coaching staff that you picked up is working out all right?
Oh, yeah. It's added. The biggest thing is it's given us more versatility. For example, I've got a coach that's not going to has a work thing, can't come to practice, so we've got enough coaches to adjust to it and overcome it without too much of a problem.
And plus all the technology you're using now. Again, I watched on Huddle, I watched the University High School scrimmage, and again, you can stop and start it moving around and whatever. I mean, it's awesome, and I'm sure that all those boys have access to it.
Yeah, they got it on their phones. We're using Huddle Sideline this year, where we have a kid up in the press box or somewhere up there taping the game, and through this software program, we can have an iPad down on the sideline and watch it real live or live time, or just rewind it. So we couldn't do that last year because we couldn't have a coach to do it, because a couple coaches were coaching 2 positions, an offense and defensive position, so you never had time to make adjustments during the game. So this year, that's what I mean by it's giving us a lot of flexibility on the.
So at halftime, you could specifically look at some areas that
we can look at things after each series.
Yeah. Wow, technology. What can you say?
So if you see us looking at our iPads down the sideline, it was a previous series, and we're trying to fix mistakes.
Well, that's good, Coach. Good luck to you down in Hampshire, and we'll make it 3 in a row Friday night.
Well, I hope so. It's been a long time.
So that you can get ready for North Marion the following week.
Yeah. looking forward to that too.
See, they beat you twice in a row now.
Yes, they have.
So your alma mater. So it's time that. But I've read an article in the Fairmont Times about preseason for Fairmont. From the Fairmont Times about North Marion and Hayes and the boys are all gummed up down there, North Marion.
Yeah, he's got them going the right direction. But we owe them for sure. Yeah, and we're not going to let them forget it.
Friday night, Hampshire, down in Romney, right outside on Route 50, on top of the hill. And I'm sure, looking at the weather forecast, it's going to be hot and humid. So jump in the car and drive down through Kaiser, get some supper, and skip on over to Romney and watch the ball game. Coach, good luck to you on Friday night.
Thank you.
The middle school, again, Roseburg Squires, they open up here at home on Wednesday, August 30th.
That's
against
right.
Mountaineer Middle School out of Clarksburg.
Yeah, they are 37 strong, and they've been working hard out in the watching practice and looking for good things. They've got an experienced quarterback coming back, and they've got probably about 15 eighth. It's an even mix between 7th and 8th graders, and they got some talent on the offense and defensive line.
And some of them are huge 8th graders. I talked to the coach, and I said, wow, you got some beef there.
Yes, there are some big kids.
Yeah. They go down to Cresaptown, right outside of Cumberland, for some kind of a middle school something or other that they're
Yeah, I
going to
think
play.
it's middle school jamboree. There's
Something
like
like it.
5 other schools there. They're going to scrimmage
Yeah.
this Saturday, isn't it?
I think it's this Saturday, yeah. Cresaptown.
Yeah, that's near Cumberland, I
Yes,
believe.
yeah. Last time I went, you could go down the interstate and go. I went down to McCool, Maryland, hang a left, and go right up the road on 220, I think,
Mhm.
and it takes you right into Cresaptown. But anyway, the middle school jamboree football outing or whatever
Scrimmage.
it is, scrimmage down at Cresaptown Saturday, and their game is on August 30th here at Knight Stadium against Mountaineer Middle School from Clarksburg. JV team. Where are we on the JV team right now?
Sad news. Tucker County canceled our first JV game, which was supposed to be next week, not this coming Monday, but the next week. Evidently, they've only had 23 players for their team, so we're trying to get another team lined up, but it just hasn't happened. So we had to cancel the first game. It was away. And the next game will be, so the first game for the JV will be at home versus North Marion on Labor Day Monday.
Okay. We'll keep you up with the schedule for the middle school and the JV team as we go along. So, Coach, good luck to you. And on behalf of Steve Blake, our producer and director, this is Gary Livengood thanking you for watching the Coaches Show. Good night.
From a simple switch, troubleshooting a problem, a new service, to that backup generator that you'll need in times of emergency, Blake Electric can handle all your electrical needs. They have the experience and knowledge to do it professionally and safely and do the job right the first time. There's been an accident. The emergency has left you with physical trauma and legal issues to deal with. The bills are piling up, and you're overwhelmed. Where do you turn for legal representation?
Hi, I'm Paul Eastep.
And I'm Steve Schaefer.
We're attorneys practicing right here in your home county of Preston.
Centrally located on West Main Street in Kingwood, just across from McDonald's, the offices of Eastep and Schaefer are an easy drive from anywhere in Preston County.
You don't have to go outside Preston County to hire a lawyer with the know-how, the experience, and the knowledge to represent you fairly in a serious personal injury matter. Call us at Eastep and Schaefer at 329-6003 or visit us on the web at www.eastepschaeferlaw.com.